see we're dividing by a monomial. Binomial, so we can't do what we did in the last problem. This one is going to require that we set up long division. X plus 1 out front, and x cubed. I'm going to insert in a 0x squared because there's a missing x squared term there, plus 6x minus 7. For the purposes of division, the plus 1 is not there. We're asking how many times does x go into x to the third, or worded differently, x times what makes x to the third? The answer is x squared. X squared up above times each of these on the side becomes x to the third plus x squared. Now when we go to subtract on the line below here, writing the minus just out in front is not enough. We're subtracting the whole bottom row, so I distribute the negative and then add down. Adding down in the x squared column gives us negative x squared, and I'll bring down the 6x as the next term. X out front times negative x will get to that negative x squared. Notice up above we have a descending polynomial beginning. We're going to take that negative x up on top and distribute it to each of these things on the side. Terms on the side, negative x squared minus x. I've got to remember that I've got to have good terminology as I'm doing this. I'm going to add the opposite, which means changing the signs of each of these down in the next row. 6x plus 1x makes 7x. Bring down the minus 7. X on the top left here times 7 gets us to the 7x. 7 times each of these on the left will give us 7x plus 7. Subtracting that line actually gives us a remainder of negative 14. I'm going to write plus negative 14 over x plus 1. I choose to always go plus my remainder instead of a minus, just the regular 14, just as a general rule, because that way I never have to worry about distributing a negative if I've got the negative in the place where it should belong. For number 10, this time we're missing a couple of terms in the descending order of things. So here's our m minus 4 going out front. We're going to have m to the third plus no m squareds plus no m's, then minus 64. M out front times m squared makes that m to the third. M squared on top times each of these on the side gives us m to the third minus 4m squared. Change the sign of this line. We're going to add the opposite, which adding down gives us, adding down gives us 4m squared. Bring down the 0m. M out front times 4m gets us to the 4m squared. So 4m on the top times the m gives us 4m squared. 4m times the minus 4 gives us minus 4m. Adding the opposite gives us a minus and then a plus. So we're going to have, I made a mistake up there. 4 times negative 4 was negative 16. That's a negative 16 there. Adding down gives us 16m minus 64. And now m times 16 up above gives us this 16m minus 64. And I'm just going to double check these signs down here and see that we have a remainder of 0. So what we have up on the top is the quotient.